Hello, fellow rail fans. Canadian Railfan 1923 here, and welcome to part 3 of Summertime Railfanning. And in this video is going to be a bonus once again. I'm railfanning at 2 places again. One of them, which is Aldershot Go, at Lakeshore West Line, at the Oakville subdivision between the Dundas and the Halton, and Snyder West, at Pioneer Village Station in Vaughan, at the Halton subdivision, mile 1. And for the start, one of those 2 places I start railfanning at first is Aldershot Go, because there are interesting trains that pass by, and pretty epic ones too. Well, here at Aldershot Go, I said this 2 times and I'll say it again. There are some Go Transit trains that go out of service and back in service, but they'll still be featured in the scenes I recorded. No biggie. So, yeah, without further ado, fellow rail fans, let's get to it. So the first train that I caught on the Oakville sub is an early CN M397, going from Toronto, Ontario to Gary, Indiana. It was led by CN Rail SD70M-2 8835, and trailing second is CN Rail GEVO 2285, and trailing third is CN Rail SD70I 5622, and M397 has a total of 160 freight cars. The next two trains I caught in the same footage is an eastbound GO Transit and an eastbound Via. They're both going to Toronto, but one of them is going on a neutral pace, and the other one's going high speed. The eastbound GO Transit on my left side was led by GO Transit MP40PH-3C 649, and the cab car in the rear is an old cab car, and that being 253, and this train has a total of 12 passenger cars. And the eastbound Via on my right side was led by Via Rail P42DC 919, which is the engineer gave me a nice K5CA horn salute. And this train has a total of 5 passenger cars. After that eastbound meetup, I heard a conversation on my radio scanner that tells me that there's an Amtrak Maple Leaf coming, and that is the next train I caught. Going from Toronto to New York City, it was led by Amtrak P42DC 119, which is the engineer gave me an epic K5LA horn salute, and this Amtrak train has a total of 5 passenger cars. The next train I caught is the best train of the day for me, and that's CN A422, going from Port Robertson to Toronto. However, like always, it stopped here to set off loaded auto part boxcars for Oakville. It was led by CN Rail /IC-9 2707, the only Dash 9 operating on these railways that has the train horn of my favorite, the K5LA, which unfortunately the engineer didn't honk it because he was too focused on the job. Although this is officially my 4th time seeing 2707. The first time I saw him was on April 20th when he was trailing second on CN M377 at Pickering Go, and the second time I saw him was on July 26 when he was trailing third on CN M383 at Aldershot Go that evening. And the third time I saw him was on the 3rd day of August when he was leading CN Z148 at Snyder West Pioneer Village Station in Vaughan. Anyways, trailing second is CN Rail SD70M-2 8873, and trailing third is CN Rail SD70M-2 8017, and A422 has a total of 141 freight cars. The next train I caught is another eastbound Via going from London to Toronto. It was led by Via Rail P42DC 917, and this train has a total of 7 passenger cars. After that eastbound Via departed, CN A422 resumes its journey to Toronto. When it goes on the Halton subdivision, it'll have a meet with CN A425, which will be the next freight train. And now the transmission from milepost 33.0 to the radio scanner.
Temperature 16C, total axle 546, speed 22.
The next train I caught is a westbound GO Transit, going from Toronto to West Harbour. It was led by another old cab car, and that being 254. And the unit pushing the train is GO Transit MP40PH-3C 648, and this train has a total of 10 passenger cars.
That's permission for the go 657 East enter. Proceed through your time limits, mile 34 through to mile 33 of the Oakville sub. Any type of no restrictions, over. Correct, repeat for go to 657 East, over. Elena, you got that there, over?
About like 20 minutes later, along came CN A425, going from Toronto to Sarnia. It was led by CN Rail GEVO 2861, and trailing second is CN Rail GEVO 2812, and trailing third is CN Rail -9 2556, and A425 has a total of 161 freight cars. And in the same scene, CN L570 starts to depart from Aldershot Yard to head for Toronto.
Thank you very much. Time Rail.
Now that my time of rail fanning at Aldershot Go is done, the place I went to next is Snyder West. So here we are at Snyder West Pioneer Village Station in Vaughan, and overall, this is a good area for rail fans to catch trains go by. And this is actually my third time being here. And that area is quite busy because there are like 17 trains that pass by. I'm not the only one who's going to be here. You want to know why I say that? Well, you'll find out soon, right after the first train. So the first train that I caught on the Halton subdivision is CN L559, departing from McMillan Yard, a local train going from Toronto to Brampton. It was led by CN Rail GP38-2 4726, which is the conductor gave me a wave. And trailing second is CN Rail GP9RM 4136. And trailing third is CN Rail GP38-2 4717. And L559 has a total of 10 freight cars. Pretty short, that's for sure. After L559 went by, a certain rail fan I know came along. And you want to know who that is? Guess who come to town?
Hello.
Good to see you in person now.
Yeah, hope you're doing well.
Yep. So yeah, Tyler M is here with me to rail fan at Snyder West Pioneer Village Station in Vaughan.
Yep.
Now back to the trains. The next train that came in is CN Z121, going from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Brampton, Ontario. It was led by CN Rail GVO 3169, which is the engineer gave us a nice K5HL horn salute. And the car behind the leading engine is Canadian National's Safety Inspection Box car. And for our middle DPU is X-Series GVO 3923. And Z121 has a total of 193 intermodal cars and one inspection car, of course, making a total of 194. The next train we caught is CN M377, entering McMillan Yard after going from Montreal, Quebec to Toronto, Ontario. It has a GEVO leading it, and another one trailing second, and another one for a middle DPU. I couldn't see their call numbers because the train itself is too far away for me to see them. And how many cars it has? Well, it doesn't matter. The next train we caught is CN Q102, going from Rubber Banks, British Columbia to Brampton, Ontario. It was led by CN Rail GEVO 2953, which is the engineer gave us a cool K5HL horn salute. And for our rear DPU is CN Rail GEVO 3119, and Q102 has a total of 172 intermodal cars. The next train we caught is CN X394, an extra long train going from Gary, Indiana to Toronto, Ontario. However, it came to a stop when it halfway entered McMillan Yard, which I'm not going to show you that part, and after minutes, it continued to enter the yard. It was led by CN Rail GEVO 3813, and trailing second is X-Series GEVO 2788. And X394 has a total of 173 freight cars.
Clear signal. Clear. Wheeler box. Clear signal. Going by the inside lane. Okay, thank you.
The next thing we saw is Z121's light power. After taking the intermodal cars to Brampton Intermodal, together they are now going to McMillan Yard to pull the next train. The next train we caught is CNQ101, going from Brampton, Ontario to Rubber Banks, British Columbia. It was led by CN Rail GEVO 3245, and trailing second is CN Rail GEVO 3265, and Q101 has a total of 181 intermodal cars. The next thing we saw is Q102's power. Same action as Z121's power, but different. After dropping off a train to Brampton Intermodal, they went to McMillan Yard to be assigned for the next train. They didn't go together. Instead, they went by themselves. The first engine of the power that came by is 2953, which is the engineer gave us a horn salute again, and behind him is 3119. The next train we caught is CN A435 departing from Macmillan Yard, going from Toronto to London. However, it stopped here to wait for two trains to pass by. It was led by a solo unit, and that's CN Rail SD70M-2 8007, which is the engineer gave us an awesome K5LLA horn salute. And A435 has a total of 55 freight cars.
East, mile 5, halt and stop on restricted subtraffic.
The next train we caught is CN Z114, going from Winnipeg, Manitoba to Brampton, Ontario. It was led by CN Rail GVO 3060, and trailing second is CN Rail GVO 3867, and Z114 has a total of 131 intermodal cars.
PO6, over. So they shopped on route, you guys said Snyder there? Yeah, it sounds like the DP's 10 cars east of the lake at Snyder, according to what 114 said. Okay, wait on the I'll try to get him to call you on the radio when we get close. Thanks. Right on, thank you.
The next train that came in is CN A422 once again. It has different power on it this time. It was led by X-Syriax GVO 2774, which has a City Rail logo poorly patched. And trailing second is CN Rail AC44C6M 3340, and A422 has a total of 191 freight cars. And in the same scene, when the track is cleared, A435 resumes its journey.
5-6. 10 mile, 57.
The next train we caught is CN L529, a local train going from Toronto to Melport. It was led by CN Rail GP38-2W 4790, which is the engineer gave us a fabulous P5 horn salute. And trailing second is XGATX GP38-2 4906, and L529 has a total of 6 freight cars, 1 hopper, and 5 tanks.
Alright, John. Yeah, I think we're not exactly in a great spot for a lot of people. Yeah, I know, but that might be perfect for the crews they have to come and work on the GP. It's pretty accessible, actually. They're motivated with where we're stopping. I'm hoping so we can talk to them ourselves. We mentioned that YB figured we were pretty close when we talked to them 114. They said we were right around Snyder. That's what we told them, so hopefully they can find it. I imagine if they get in by the lumber yard there, they should be able to get to it. Yeah, that'll be perfect, yeah.
The next train we caught is CN Z112, going from Vancouver, British Columbia to Brampton, Ontario. It was led by CN Rail GVO 3145, which is the engineer gave us a nice K5HL horn salute. And trailing second is CN Rail AC44C6M 3311, and Z112 has a total of 154 intermodal cars.
Yeah, head in, BC right at the field past Carway. Okay, perfect.
The next thing we saw is CN Q148's light power coming out from McMillan Yard and going to Brampton Intermodal to take the train to Montreal, Quebec. The engines of this light power is CN Rail GVO 3817 and CN Rail GVO 3067. After all this, we were just going to call it a day until we got a transmission that tells us CN X271 is nearby, and that is the final train we caught before we started to head home. It used to be going from Montreal, Quebec to Battle Creek, Michigan, but however, this one is going to McMillan Yard, and it came to a stop when it nearly entered. It was led by CN Rail SD75I 5695, and trailing second is CN Rail -9 2691. And how many cars it has? Well, it doesn't matter.
And look at that, we got CNX 271 pulling into Mac Yard right now, you can see here. Normally it would be going onto the Halton, but however though, this is an extra one train. They mostly drop all direct cars in Oshawa, and they are taking some freight cars back to Mac Yard now. I guess from Oshawa or something like that. So basically I should probably call this CNL517, even though this is not L517. L517 is X271. It has a 2 auto racks parked in the front, and now it has a mixed train, you can see. So yeah, off it goes to Mac Yard. It sucks it's not coming here, even though it's a Halton train. But if it's going to Mac Yard, it's going into Mac Yard, and it looks like it's coming to a stop right now, you can see.
Well, fellow rail fans, that is all for part 3 of Summertime Railfanning. I hope you all enjoyed this awesome video. And if you did, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out. And that will be it for sure. Oh, one more thing. Go subscribe to Tyler M. Link to his channel is in the description below. Peace out and be safe. Take care and y'all have a great night. Cheerio.